Hello, my name is Eduardo Ahumada. I will present this paper entitled How to the Dimensions of Organizational Justice Impact Job Satisfaction and Turnover Intention in Emerging Economies. The authors of these papers are Estela Galvan from Cadiz University in Tijuana, Mexico, Rafael Ravina-Ripoll from University of Cadiz, myself, Eduardo Ahumada from Mexico, Autonomous University of Baja California, and Luis Gallardo Tobar Pesantes from Salesian Polytechnic University in Ecuador. This is the overview of our content. And I'm gonna be quick into this presentation because of the time that we have. In the abstract, we can see that when the individual exercises a function in society due to his or her effort at work, it manifests multiple emotions that translate into behavior. In recent years, the study of organizational behavior has been a topic of interest in the economic and administrative science because the people is important for the companies and firms to achieve their goals. So due to the employee behavior is very important. So one of the topics that in the later years has been important into the academic agenda has been the how the people interact between each other and how these people perceive several factors in the company, such as distributive justice, procedural justice, and interactional justice. In this case, this type of perception are going to impact into job satisfaction and the turnover intentions. To do this, we interviewed 555 workers in Mexico's food industry. We apply a survey and we collect data, and we apply structural equation techniques by CBSM. An introduction and literature review. Human beings are programmed to find meaning in their existence, and deprivation of this need can have severe psychological repercussions. Because of the importance of the integral well-being of individuals, we can argue that work is an indispensable activity for human beings, as it has economic and psychological implications. Everyone every employee, every member of an organization has to be motivated to stay in that firm, to increase their productivity and to achieve the goals. So the intention of them to stay and to have a feeling of satisfaction is very important. Recent years have also shown a relationship between workers' psychological well-being and job performance. So the people and the workers who feel good, who have a perception of well-being, are the most likely to have a better job performance. Elements such as employees' perceived fairness condition, which lead us to justice, their level of satisfaction and their desire to stay at their respective workplaces have gradually gained more and more relevance in areas of knowledge such as organizational psychology and management. Happiness is one of the things that we have to take into account, such as job satisfaction implies that people feel happy. So it is important to bring to our attention that in recent years these kind of studies have increased in a lot of issues, in a lot of journals, books that are showing us how important it has become the perception of happiness in the employees. Because happiness leads us to job satisfaction. In terms of job satisfaction, it can be understood as the degree to which an individual feels emotionally good about their job. So it feels good, he's happy. It can also be referred to as a positive emotion state that results from workers' evaluation of their work activity. When the people feel that the work they've done is important and have meaning, then they're gonna feel more satisfied about what they do. It says that when employees perceive that their work activity is meaningful, just what I'm saying, to achieving the company's goal, they will be more motivated and more satisfied with their work. So it is important for a firm to improve the strategies or to implement actions to increase the way the people see their own job and how they impact into the other employees' lives. There are many definitions for this concept. The intention of to rotate, this is the other variable that we are analyzing. Although basically most agree that it is a thought that manifests itself when the worker questions his permanence in his job, having the intention to resign without the need to have a defined time to carry it out. So this means that when the people feel that they don't have a meaningful job, perhaps they're gonna start thinking to change their job. In this, why turnover intention is and will be a topic of interest in the study of organization. The dimension that AI platform, for example, showed more than 9,314 scientific publications under the term turnover intention. This means that the intention to leave the job is very important also to firms, because they're gonna need to get new workers, to give them training, and so it's gonna be expensive, and it's gonna delay production and other things if the people start to go from one work to another one. So job satisfaction influences intention to rotate, which has business and psychological issues. Now, organizational justice can define as the extent to which workers perceive that interactions, procedures, dealings, and work outcomes are fair. Fairness in the treatment received by their superiors or co-workers, as well as employees' reaction to their perception. And in the literature, we can find that organizational justice has been divided into distributed justice, procedural justice, and interactional justice. In the distributed justice, we find that the factors that we have to analyze are the equity, the equality, and the needs. So this is gonna be an outcome of decision of satisfaction. And the procedural justice, the factors are policies, procedure, and processes. That's system satisfaction. And interactional justice is interpersonal treatment, which leads to relationship satisfaction. This has been a theory presented by Greenberg in 1990. So from this on, we have this hypothesis, which are described as follows. This distributive justice is positively associated with job satisfaction. Not in the other way, distributed justice is negatively associated with rotation. So it means that if the persons perceive a good distributed justice, procedural justice, and interactional justice, they're gonna definitely feel more satisfied with their job. And they're gonna have a negative association with rotation. So if people perceive distributed justice as something good, procedural justice also, and interactional justice, they're not gonna want to go to another job. Those are our hypotheses. The methodology we used was this study was quantitative, as responses were recorded on a scale to proceed to a statistical measurement. The design was non-experimental, as the study variables were not modified, but were analyzed according to their nature. It was a cross-sectional, as the data collected was carried out at a single point in mid-2021. These are the characteristics of the sampling. The sampling size was 555 employees of the fourth industry sector. Questions were narrated positively. All the questions, all the items were positively narrated. A 7-point Likert scale. The items were distributed as follows. Distributed justice, procedural justice have 5 items each. Interactional justice, 9 items. Job satisfaction, 10, and turnover, 3. This is our proposed model for theoretical correlations. We can see here our hypothesis. So we express that distributed justice, procedural justice, and interactional justice have positive influence on job satisfaction and a negative influence on turnover intention. The result that we have from the data collected in the 555 persons were as follows. In the descriptive analysis, we can see that most of the people were male, identified as male, with a 53.88%. The most of the people have middle school or less, 52%. The age variable has from 19 to 64 years, the mean was 38.6 years and standard deviation 8.404. Company experience 0 to 41 years, the mean was 5 years and 5.14 years. The satisfaction of the results of job satisfaction were as follows: fully satisfied, 13%, very satisfied, 29%. Most of the people feel satisfied with their job. We can see that here is 50, 67, more than 70% are satisfied or fully satisfied. Only the 20%, 20 something percent were not moderately to dissatisfied. We have here descriptive results for total perceived organizational justice. So we can see how the people feel about distributed justice, procedural justice, and interactional justice, and total justice. So the people see different, in a different way, the different types of theoretical justice and how they feel in the total, in the global analysis from justice. So we can see here that most of the people see they are treated with justice, with fair treatment between the procedures, the policies, and the people that were with them. Descriptive result for intention of rotate is also like this. We can see, I think a lot about leaving my job. I will probably look for a new job next year. As soon as possible, I will leave the organization. We can see that people is strongly disagree. So this means that in a descriptive analysis, we can see that the people are not wanted to go, and when they feel that in this table, the table 4, that the justice is high, they don't want to go. We can see here the factor analysis. These are the variables, the distributed justice, procedural justice, interactional justice, so the other is job satisfaction and turnover intention. And so we can see the correlation between items is high in every one of them. The significance we have that they have the sufficient significance only in this one, in determinant. We can see the difference values that are adequate to the level of in this case commonalities. Bartlett's sphericity test is also has a good value, and all the values are confirming that we have the sufficient statistical data to accept the factor analysis. In the correlation, we can see that we have a correlation between distributed justice and procedural justice that is very high, interactional justice very high and very significant, and also work satisfaction very high. And we can see that turnover intention, it's contrary, it's negative. So at this point, we can see that our hypotheses are validated using the correlation study or analysis. The convergent and the discriminant validity, it's also give us value that confirm our hypothesis. We can see that the Cronbach's alpha are very high, and also we can see the value that confirm that there is no collinearity and other different statistical issues that affect our assumptions. This is the structural model that we analyze. We can see here the different number of items. These are 5, like I was saying before, 9, and we have 10, and we have 3. And each one, they have the different values and different index numbers that confirm the structural model is validated. We can see it in the next film. And also here we can see the values. The values are all of the values confirm our theoretical assumption that this is going to be validated between the correlation of the variables. We can see the results. We have a statistical value. We have the RMCA with an agreeable value, IFC, IT, ITLI, and also CM, the parsimony. It's acceptable. All of the of these values are acceptable except this one that is marginal. These are the text, our hypothesis. We can see that distributive justice is not rejected. Procedural justice, we have that with the result we obtain in the structural model were rejected. We haven't rejected this means that procedural justice has no statistical validity significance with work satisfaction. Nevertheless, distributed justice is rejected, so distributed justice can affect in some way the turnover intention. The other one has these two have that result that were rejected. In our conclusions, we can in recent research this research has addressed the importance of the organizational justice dimension in retaining human talent and generating an atmosphere that stimulates corporate happiness in firm. However, this fact does not preclude that there is currently a gap in human resource theories and the role of organizational justice in emerging economies, whose territories are characterized by the deficit of decent jobs offered by their labor market. It's not the same analyzing Europe than a third world country. The result of this study constitutes a well-founded theoretical premise for future research related to the analysis of organizational justice in emerging economies. So this is one of the proposals that we make, that we have to replicate this study in other environments. Consequently, our work can serve to put on the academic table that the constructs that make up the organizational justice dimension are essential to cultivate a model of corporate governance that seek to the competitiveness and sustainability of their companies through the job satisfaction of their internal customers. It will improve their corporate image and the attraction of human talent. From the point of view of practical implication, this article shows the management must undertake a corporate cultural that comprehensively stimulates organizational justice and job satisfaction to reduce the voluntary departure of the employee. In post-COVID-19 era, this fact is going to be very important because the people need also to feel safe. And it is important to understand that the employees wants to be happy. The limitation, well, we use a cross-sectional survey design and possibility of generalizing the result because we only use the framework of Mexico, the existence of biases derived from the single source of information. And finally, the organizational justice dimension is a multifaceted concept affected by multiple managerial factors. So we need to analyze in another sectors. This is some of our references, and thank you very much for your attention. These are my email and ongoing website. Thank you very much.